You're watching CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susie Sa, and here are your top stories. Developing news in Washington tonight. The House has voted to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Republicans say Mayorkas committed crimes in his handling of the southern border. Tonight's 214 to 213 vote comes a week after a previous vote failed. This is the second time in American history a cabinet member has been impeached. The move is largely symbolic, though, as the Democratic-controlled Senate is likely to acquit Mayorkas. Happening now, a Lunar New Year celebration is underway in Monterey Park. The Boys and Girls Club event at the Monterey Park Club location is commemorating the Year of the Dragon and honoring the victims of last year's mass shooting at Star Ballroom Dance Studio. The event is a drive-through style and features traditional red envelope distributions, hot meal giveaways, and live entertainment, including a lantern parade. It ends tonight at 8:30. The debate over the Chiquita Canyon landfill continues tonight. Operators are addressing growing community concerns at a meeting right now at the Castaic Library. The landfill has repeatedly been cited for health and air quality violations. LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger calling landfill officials to provide relocation aid for residents affected by the odors. Turning now to our weather, you may not be able to tell now with those calm conditions we're having, but we have more rain on the way. Danny Roberti has the details in your next weather. Hi, Danny.
Hi, Susie. Yes, we have a strong storm that's on the way, and this is going to bring us rain for the President's Day holiday, mainly late weekend into early next week. You can see those rain chances. Boy, they are going up, and this is going to bring us another round of heavy rain. So we're going to talk about it. First, let's talk about what's next. As we go into tonight, we are going to see that marine layer making a comeback. So we're going to be dealing with those low clouds, some patchy fog as you wake up tomorrow morning. It will be a gray start. We're still mild. We're still quiet. We're going to be dealing with the 70s by the time we get to Friday. But this upcoming weekend, it is going to be wet at times. And we're going to jump right to that. Tomorrow, though, you can see you're waking up to mostly cloudy skies in Long Beach, especially near our beach communities. It'll be like that for most of the morning time. Highs not climbing as much tomorrow afternoon. We'll be in the low 60s. But let's talk about what's going on in the atmosphere, kind of the big weather story. So the reason we're getting that marine layer, we've got this little guy that's zipping by to the north of us. That's mainly going to bring rain to Santa Barbara County. For us, we stay dry out of this one. High pressure builds back in Thursday going into Friday. We look good. Take a look at this, though. We are tracking and watching another atmospheric river, and this is going to bring us more rain and the concerns for flooding in some areas. So when we get to Saturday, it looks like things are still dry at this point. High confidence that we're going to stay dry for our Saturday. But once we get to Sunday, we're going to start to see some showers developing in some areas. But the bulk of that rain, the bullseye, it's going to be on Monday. Here's a look at this cutoff low. And this is going to be moving, and it surges farther south. And this is going to tap into that atmospheric river. And this is going to bring us the heavy rain as we go into Monday and a Tuesday. And that's going to be my focus for flooding. It is going to be on Monday when we are dealing with some of our heaviest rain going into early next week. And the concerns for flooding, it's really going to be those areas that we focused on with the last atmospheric river. And so that's going to be the concern. Even though we aren't expecting, you can see from our futurecast rainfall, not as much rain, but even so, if we see this rain moving in, soil's already so saturated that there are going to be some big concerns. Now, this model is showing 1.5 inches of rain. We are really looking at, for our beach and our valleys, beaches and valleys, looking at 2 to 5 inches, and that's kind of a wide range right now. This is kind of a difficult storm that we're dealing with. It's one of those cutoff lows that really has a mind of its own. And so as we get closer each and every day, we're going to be able to fine tune some of these details. But foothills and mountains, you're really looking at 5 to 8 inches of rain. And again, not as much as this last storm, but if this ends up stalling out in certain areas, oh boy, that rain is going to add up like crazy. So going into tonight, we are talking overnight lows that are not as cold as they have been, mainly because that marine layer kind of serves as a blanket, so it keeps us a bit warmer. We're talking 40s all across the board with some 50s in there too. Coming up at KCAL News at 8, we're going to talk about the next 7 days, and we are going to go in depth on this atmospheric river and how this is going to impact your weekend. We want to keep you prepared. That's coming up next. Susie?
Very good. Danny, thank you so much. A vote tonight in Anaheim could crack down on unpermitted food stand equipment. KCAL News reporter Leslie Marin with our preview.
We're outside Anaheim City Council chambers. Inside, a City Council meeting is underway where council members will be taking up the issue of sidewalk street vendors. Now, the biggest thing that they're looking at is going to look at a proposed ordinance that will make it so the city does have the right to not only cite but also take equipment from street sidewalk vendors that do not have permits. We're talking about any of their grills, their food, propane tanks, coolers, anything that these sidewalk vendors have. If they do not have a permit, the city wants to, if it is voted on, they want to be able to have the right to then take that stuff. Here's the thing. The city tells us not one street sidewalk food vendor has applied for a permit. So they will also, in this ordinance, be loosening the regulations to get a permit, but both sides of this issue have come out to speak tonight, and tonight you'll hear from some restaurants who say some of these sidewalk vendors have caused them problems, while advocates for street sidewalk vendors have told us these people just simply want to make a living and they should be able to do so. So we'll have that coming up at 10 p.m.
A Metro committee will vote tomorrow on the proposed gondola site, which would take people from Union Station to Dodger Stadium. The project is slated to be built in the proposed site of Hope Village. A yes vote would greenlight the Environment Impact Report for the proposal. Well, this has been CBS News Los Angeles, a rundown. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back live on KCAL News at 8 here on CBS News Los Angeles.